Hello, it'll just take us a second or so to make sure we've got the right screens showing in the right places. So I'll wait, here we are.
Okay, yes.
You can see that, and Ruth can see that.
Yes.
Okay, we're going to go fairly quickly through this. Obviously, if there are things where you want me to stop and you want to talk about something, that's fine. Equally, if there are things where you think, oh, actually, I know all about that, you know, just carry on, then pop that in the text chat. You're very welcome to do that. Really, it's just a quick 20 minutes update on top tips for reluctant readers. I think we've all got, well, statistically, we've all got between 6 and 10% of the learners in our organisation are likely to be print impaired in some way or another. Certainly dyslexia, and almost certainly there'll be people with visual impairments as well. And there's other kinds of reasons why people might be reluctant to read, relating to cognitive difficulties and so on. But what we want to look at now is just some top tips that you can use that would apply to all readers, all learners, all stages and phases. And so it would apply equally to somebody, you know, studying an academic subject at undergraduate level as it would do to somebody maybe struggling with GCSEs, and lots of people in between. So let's have a look then at some of these, and we've started very simply with one of perhaps the most basic things we can do, and yet something that's still really significant, because unfortunately when you look at practice in a typical college, when you go to a typical college VLE and you look at what's on there, this still isn't happening. So I'll just bring up on here the a Word document, and for so many learners the Word documents we give them are just a little bit overwhelming. And the reason for that is if you've got a Word document like this one, this is a handout taken directly from a lecturer, it's long, and that's going to take a long time for somebody who's got relatively poor reading skills or reading confidence to get their head round. But one of the things that a lot of learners aren't aware of is that if they go along the tabs in Microsoft Word, when they get to the View tab, they can click on Navigation pane, and what that will do is it will pick out all the headings and subheadings in that document, provided the headings and subheadings have been put in as a heading, heading level 1, heading level 2, etc. Consequently, straight away, that 7-page document, I've now got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 tiny phrases here that I can read in order to give me the overview of the entire document. So if I want to look at a particular part, hair care products, I click on that and I open up, and there appears for me the individual bits I want. Okay, so that is very important for learners to be aware of. Just move that back for a moment and just refresh the screen so you don't have those funny lines on them. The implication for teaching is, I think there's a really important staff development implication here, and there's also a quality assurance implication, because that benefit of being able to see the entire structure of a document in 3 seconds benefits every single learner you possibly have. And so it could be a part of your quality assurance in terms of handouts created for students and so on. If staff don't know how to do it, or students don't know how to access that, on our website here there's the Take This Toolbox area, and if we go over there, let me pull that onto the screen. On the Take This Toolbox you can go to the area Working with Word, and if we click into that, there are little video clips and informational sheets on all these different aspects, so using headings in Microsoft 2010 and so on. We also have guidance if you are working in older versions of Word where exactly the same functionality is available, and it's in the same place. It's under View, but it's called Document Map instead of Navigation. And another thing to try with documents, let's pull the document back, for reluctant readers, there's a great thing you can do if you've got commercial text-to-speech software on your system, because if you've got something like Mind Manager or Mind Genius or any of those tools, you can select your text, and then if you've got one of those tools, you can you'll get a plug-in for Word that sort of automatically slots in there. And what I can do pretty much instantly is just pull across. This has just opened up, and that is the mind map of the document. And all it's done is it's taken every heading and worked out which headings go under which headings. For many learners, for many reluctant learners, for many visual learners, that's just a great way of visualizing the content of information. Okay, let's any questions or comments on that before I go on to the next bit?
It looks really useful. Yeah.
Okay, the second one I want to look at is, again, if we work on Word, look at that Word document, there's a function in the later versions of Word, I think it's 2007 onwards, it's definitely 2010 because that's what I'm using here, but there's this really clever function which allows you to speak selected text. So I think we'll have a look at that now. Let's bring in that Word document one more time. So there's my document. I can select some text, and if I want to listen to that rather than read it, up here on my quick access toolbar I've put the button that goes to speak selected text, and if I click on that,
Usually dictate straight.
so I'll just stop that now. Did you hear that? Did that come through?
Just a little, not.
Just a little.
Yeah.
Not very. I'll try that again. Here. This is using the TechDis voice, Jess.
General health state of scalp usually dictate stress.
You may not, because it's coming through my headset
I
rather
know.
than speakers, it's going to be a bit harder, but the point is what you can do, it'll pick up whatever voice is on your computer. Now, if you've got something like Read and Write Gold on your system, you may be able to select that as your default voice, although I suspect possibly not. You might be able to. You're likely to have Microsoft Anna on there, and the American voices aren't quite as good. The Microsoft inbuilt voices aren't quite as good as specific voices that have been created. Like in our side of the water, we've got Jess and Jack. In Scotland, they've got Heather and Stuart, and in Wales, they've got Geraint and Gwyneth. Really good voices. But even if you're struggling along with dear old Microsoft Anna, that's still a really powerful tool for students, and it's really quick and easy to do. The implications for staff, well, the first thing is make sure the learners know about it. There's no learner going to be using it if you haven't told them it's there, because they will probably really struggle to find it. If you want to know where to find it, here you go. You go to File. This is on Office 2000 and sort of, I think 2007 upwards. File, Options, Quick Access Toolbar, Choose Commands, Choose from All, Speak, Add. So it's about 6 clicks. Even better, get your IT staff to pre-configure it on all the PCs. Now, Ruth's put in a point there. What happens if there are spelling mistakes? And that's actually one of the really effective ways you can use this technique, because if there are spelling mistakes, it mispronounces them. So for dyslexic people, proofreading things they're writing, it's fantastic, because you can finish writing, before you hand it in you can just listen to it, and then if it says some really strange things you can stop and have a look. If you haven't got the latest versions of Word, there is a WordTalk plugin which you can get from wordtalk.org, and is something your IT staff can easily put onto your network image of Word. Okay, tip 3, and this is probably the easiest of all, the most obvious of all, and the most frequently forgotten, and that is that we don't have to explain everything in text and on handouts. So here on this right hand side I've just looked at bricklaying. If I was teaching students bricklaying, the first place I would go in terms of supporting their learning outside the workshop would be to YouTube or to Google Video or to Vimeo or to VideoJug and all these sorts of places. Now the issue is, of course, that you can find thousands of videos on bricklaying and many of them are rubbish. You need to be, that's why it's not such a good idea just to say to the students, go and Google it, because they may learn the wrong stuff. But it's certainly a reason for the staff having good Google skills. And if they don't have good Google skills, again, we've got some great free staff development materials back in that TechDiz toolbox area, just techdiz.ac.uk/tbx. And if you look down there at using the web, there's a whole section on search. And each of these is like a 2-minute video clip on different aspects of searching. So there we are, we've got 9 different clips on searching for different aspects, special features, using the different tools that are in there to improve your searching. Okay, there are other things, of course, other ways of providing alternative explanations that don't rely on you finding things other people made, which is, of course, doing it yourself. And I know Audrey and her team show people how to use Cam Studio and Audacity and other free online tools. So that's well worth looking at. Again, if I stop there, Ruth, have you got any experience in your context where you've got staff beginning to go beyond kind of handouts and reading lists and point students to podcasts or either handmade or internet discovered video clips? Perhaps if you pop anything in the text chat there, and then we'll follow that up as I go on. Okay, so that was tip 3, alternative explanations, and as a testimony to the veracity of that approach, I have a student friend of mine, an Oxbridge student, who did English literature, and half the plays that she was using in her course, she never read because she was dyslexic. She had real problems reading quickly, and so she simply listened to the plays on the radio, or she watched the plays. She got out lots of videos of obscure, wonderful plays, and did very well. So you're trying to introduce them to creating their own videos. Is this the students or the staff or both? Because those are really good approaches, particularly, okay, for the staff to do their own videos, that's great. And with Cam Studio, it's very quick. You don't even need a video camera for that if you're showing things on, on computer screen. Okay, let's have a look then at tip 4, which is reading with your ears. And there are various ways we can do this, and the simplest, let me show you a way of doing this. I'll take that document we had a moment ago, and I'm going to load up a tool. This is way down in my folders. I've got a folder with lots of free tools that run locally in them, portable, that's what we call them, portable apps. And this one, Balabolka, many people will be familiar with. If I just load up Balabolka, here is Balabolka just loaded. And here inside Balabolka is that document that we've just been looking at, the one about the hair. And here I can do all sorts of things. I can change the colors, I can change the background. It will read, okay, as you notice there that it was the cursor was moving word by word. Again, it'll probably be hard for you to hear it. I'll have a go and see if you can hear anything. Just so that you okay. So you will have probably heard that there was sound coming out, but again, because it's coming through a headset into a microphone, it's very faint. But the great thing about this is, unlike just reading directly from Word using the speak, select text and then speak function, here I want something to take away. I don't want to sit next to the computer and listen because I've got a 3/4 of an hour walk home to the other side of town. And so what I'm going to do is file, save audio file, and that then comes up with this dialog, and then I'll just call that test file. and save that on the desktop or wherever, and that's going to busy itself away. So while I'm packing my bag now, getting ready to leave the college, that file is turning into an MP3, all that text. That's 7 pages of text, remember, and as soon as it's finished, I will either copy and paste it onto the SD card in my phone, if I've got one of those kinds of phones, and then I can listen to it on the way home, or I may email it to myself so that I can then pick it up on my phone and listen to it just like I'd listen to any other audio file on the phone. So that's a really powerful way of taking stuff from the classroom, from homework and so on, and disappearing with it and doing things. I'm going to leave that saving in the background because I want to move swiftly on. And if you're, again, it will use whatever voice is on your computer. So if you've got pretty ropey Microsoft voice, what you might then do as an alternative is you might take that same document and email it to robobraille.org, or in fact you can go to the website robobraille.org and use the menu system, which will say, you know, what do you want? I want to do this and I want to convert it to that format, to audio, and then there's a little attach file button. You click that, browse to your file, and that will be emailed back to you within probably 10 minutes or so. And it's a good quality voice as well. Ruth, do you work, you've got eBury, I think, in your system, is that right? Because I want to look at reading ebooks with your ears. Okay, so let me bring up eBury. Here's eBury. So this is a randomly selected chapter on eBury. What I want to do here is I want to be able to listen to that. Now I could copy and paste it into Balabolka that we were using just now, and then I could take it home with me. What I'm going to do instead, I think I'm just going to read this. I'm sat in the library now, and I want to read this text, and it's very easy for me to do so, but if I want to read it that way and I don't want the fiddle of copying and pasting into Balabolka and then clicking the play button, I'm going to use another tool now, which is one called Orato. And so I'll show you on the screen. It's another free one. It runs from a memory stick. Very simple, very little program. It's only half a megabyte. Right, Orato is now running in the background. So what it will do is it will read anything copied to the clipboard. So there's that page. I select the text on that page and I copy it twice. It's a bit weird, this, but you have to copy it twice. The first time you click the right-click menu, copy on eBury. What that then does is it puts it into this little text pane that you can see here. Use Control-C to copy text. So I just copy it one more time. So it isn't yet on the clipboard. It's just kind of access the text from eBury. I do Control-C now, and as soon as I've done that, what's happening now, and again I can hear this in my ears, but you can't hear because my ears are in the way. This is now reading out. This is Orato just instantly from running in the background. As soon as something appears on the clipboard, it reads it. I can stop it, I can go back, but that is, again, that's adjustable. I can change the text size, the text background color. Fantastic tool now for working with whatever I want on the clipboard. If I go to the next page, I can do exactly the same. So there's page 2, select it, right click, and then copy, and then Control-C, and here we have completely new text now on Orato. That's the new text. Click to speak, and that will speak away. So that's things you can do with your ebooks as well. And last couple of tips then, getting auto summaries. These are tools that are outside your normal in-college provision. These are tools that you can download from third-party providers. This one is a brilliant one, Navitex. It's a free download. There's a free version and then there's a premium paid-for version. What this does is it summarizes documents paragraph by paragraph picking out the key words. So for somebody that's not a great reader, finds it hard to sort of separate the wood from the trees, this is a really useful tool. It's a freemium service. The basic service is free. You can either download it for home use, or IT staff could install it on the network. And Navitex would then it uses data mining techniques to provide summaries of what's on there. There is an auto summary tool in Word which does the same kind of thing, but in a much more crude, simplistic way, and it's not terribly good in Word. And then, as well as getting all ordinary summaries, sometimes people are reluctant readers because they actually need the text in a particular size, a particular type of font, a particular color, or maybe in audio in order to make best sense of it. Here's another free service, the ASAP service, which will allow you to set up a system so that whether you're looking at a document on a PC or on an iPhone, and they're doing an Android version as well, that document will automatically get loaded into your Dropbox account. It sets up a Dropbox account for you if you haven't got one, and as soon as you load a document to ASAPT, it will appear in your Dropbox account. When you look at it on the iPhone, it'll be in what you set for the iPhone. When you look at it on a PC, it'll be the appropriate colors and font for that. That's a great tool to use. If you haven't got that, then there are other screen tinter type tools that will do a fraction of what ASAPT does. It would simply change the colors and put an overlay on your screen. They're still worth trying. SS Overlay is a very nice example, but ASAPT is well worth having a look at. And lastly, speech enable the web. So you've got websites. How do people listen to websites instead of having to read websites? So here's Chrome, here's the BBC, here's today's news on the BBC. If you have the Chrome, Google Chrome browser, there's a plugin called Chrome Speak, and that's really nice because it's free and so on. And if you right click, I can then read the selected text there. You'll hear just so here we are. I'll just stop the reading. And so the implications for staff are, if your IT staff are happy to put the Chrome browser on your network and install the Chrome Speak plugin, then again it'll only pick up whatever your basic voices are, Microsoft Anna or whatever. I'm just really looking forward to the day when Northern Ireland has high quality Irish voices for free,
Yeah.
like we've managed to get in England and Scotland and Wales, but that's a battle to keep fighting. But even if your IT staff decide they don't want to do that, Chrome, there's a portable version of Chrome. You can go, if you simply Google portable Chrome, you can download the browser, run it from a memory stick, a USB stick, download the plugin while it's running from the memory stick, and that's what I've got. So wherever I go now, I've got my memory stick. If I want to listen to websites, I can plug it in and play it through there. Or of course you could, if you're using a different browser, you could have Orato running in the background and simply copy and paste any text that you want. As soon as it's pasted on the clipboard, it will read in Orato. And those are my top 7 tips. And anything, I wanted to see if there's anything here that you use, maybe that I don't use, or things that you've thought about that are worth looking at. And if not, then it'll be time for dinner.
Yes, that was super, Alistair. I'm just waiting to see if Ruth has anything to type. Yep. She's going to have a go away and look at these, yes.
I do have a document that I could send. Maybe if I send it to Audrey to then pass on to people
Yes.
that expressed interest in the session.
Certainly.
It looks at text. It looks at these sorts of things. It hasn't got all of them in there, but it's a document that looks at how to speech enable document.
Hello, we've lost sound.
Oh, looks like you've lost sound. Sorry about that.
Oh, back again. It's back again.
Okay, right. So I'll send that document to you, Audrey.
That's super, Alistair. Thank you very much indeed.
Okay.
And I'm going to stop recording now.